Welcome, Libra. Thank you for joining us today. This is your reading, your timeless reading. We're going to get you messages and practical insights to integrate into your life exactly what you need to hear right now to create the life that you've always wanted. So this is obviously for Libra sun signs, also for Libra risings or ascendant signs. And if you have a Libra moon, this is applicable to you too. We have two cards here from the Star Seed Oracle, one of my favorite oracles right now. So they're going to provide the foundation for your reading, and then we'll bring in more messages. So let's just get right into this for you. Star Ancestors, Hidden Secrets, Lost Wisdom, Look a Little Deeper. I don't know if you can see this card. It's really beautiful. They're all really beautiful, actually. And then Earth Pulsing. Pulse of Mother, Slow Down Time in Nature. So Libra, the first message that I'm getting is that there's a lot of extra energy around you right now. A lot of guides that are trying to get in touch with you. And again, this is a general reading, but for some of you, I feel as though sometimes you shut down and you want to do things alone. And it's really about, you can tell in your life when this is a pattern that you're going into, when you feel a little disconnected and you feel a little sad, and when your frequency, it's not necessarily low, but when you feel as though you need to isolate. The other indication is if you are if you're a little bit frustrated, or you tend to be a little bit, sometimes when you go into that judgmental mode, it starts with you and then with others, when you're normally extremely gracious. And this is nothing that you would probably put out to the world. This is more sort of interior thought process. But when you get to this process, there's an indication there that you're lacking the insight, or the inside information, the insights of your guides. You've disconnected yourself, and this is something that you need to constantly come back to. And again, we're giving you practical understanding of when you get into this mode, this understanding of self, or when these thought processes, the judgment and judgmental stuff and everything comes out. That's when you're in the level of disconnect. Now, I don't want to suggest that you're a judgmental person. Normally you give people space, and this is nothing that you necessarily act on, but it's definitely sort of a hindsight thing where it feeds into your life and lowers your frequency a little bit, and again makes you frustrated. That's just, again, an indication. It's not necessarily an indication that you're not on the right track, but you've disconnected yourself. So what we're doing here, we're doing the manifestation cards. Let's get you some more information of how to click out of this. And this is something that you may be balancing backwards and forwards with this kind of this energy in your life. When I connect to the spiritual realm, yes, I open the door to receive divine guidance, clear direction, and great wisdom. And that's it too. Now, there's a side of you that's very childlike. I even see sort of elementals of fairies around some of you. And for those of you who have children, you really revel in the sort of like being a child with them. Bringing in the energy of the universe is not second nature to you by any stretch of the imagination. But I feel as though there is this essence of the balancing that's a little bit out of sequence here. I let the universe catch up with my dreams. I'm asked to. So this is really funny. It's the balancing out. You're being told to slow down time in nature. I let the universe catch up with my dreams. So there's ways in which that you work with lightning speed. I want this, and then trying to figure out and decipher what it is that you want. Some of you, it's not that you're bad at making decisions. It's that you see everything from every point of view, which can be very frustrating sometimes. I can decide today to recalibrate my energy and commit to love and joy. So for those of you who see every opportunity, that's absolutely wonderful. And then for you, those of you who have the system where they get a little bit depressed because they can't choose, or they've chosen incorrectly, or they feel a little out of alignment with the understanding that they can choose, then again, you get into your own head, and then we have these sequence of events. Now, you're naturally very joyful and, again, very childlike. But sometimes when you approach your life, the childlikeness sort of gets pushed to one side, and the practical element comes in, and then you overdo what it is that you need to do. So you have all these wild ideas, and some of them actually could be implemented quite well if you actually work with the universe to implement them. Sometimes when you've decided on something, you just sort of, you let it go in a way. So there's a couple of different things you do. You either let it go in a way where you put it completely to the universe, but you don't really step up and do anything about it, and then you wonder what the hell's going on. Or you try and just put all your eggs in one basket and kind of go for it, and then you kind of block all of the sort of intuitive kind of seemingly help that's coming in. And then when you disconnect in that way, then you get to the point where, you get to the frustrating point, and you have these sort of different kind of circles. So the childlike element of self is always there and can be tapped in at any time, Libra, and you're being asked to be tapped into it all the time, seemingly effortless all the way through. So, a shift in perspective, recalibrating, that's all it is. There's really nothing more than that. Also, the day-to-day life, you are the sort of person that if everything is day-to-day, everything is sort of like, I need to do this at this time, there's a part of you that really adheres to that way of being, but there's also a part of you that needs to be free. If you're not letting yourself be free in your day-to-day routines or giving yourself that sense of freedom, that frustration will kick in. And again, you start internalizing and getting frustrated. So, if obviously, if you can slow down, obviously, if you can go into nature, these are obvious things that I would say to anybody. But for you, in a practical way, if you don't have the way to do that, you live in a city, you have kids, you don't, there's things to be done, who am I to just drive off into the middle of the countryside? Not possible. It's breaking the routine and getting out of that and bringing in your childlike senses, not when you believe that they're needed, but all of the time. When you feel as though they're not needed. All right, I don't need my childlike senses now. I need to step up and be an adult. Okay, Libra, we are back again. Sorry about that. But we were talking about you embracing this beautiful sort of angelic yet mischievous childlike aspect of self in all things, and sort of bringing every aspect of life with that approach, and this sort of the systems in which you work. Sometimes you wait until you're sort of in the dumps in order to reach out to the universe. There's a sense of the universe, like it's almost like that they're there, that they're always there, but you don't always work in alignment with them. And also, if you do, you sort of come at them in a way where it's like, where are you? Where are you? It's like you're always working sort of in this balance mode of either, behind or catching up, or trying to be one step ahead in a way. So there's this understanding of bringing your sense of self back through the eyes of a child and going back into that inner child. And for those of you who have that sense already but don't work with it all the time, or for those of you who are thinking, well, it's not appropriate for me to be childlike at work, there's an aspect, and there's a given aspect that you can bring in, and those are the times when you do need to bring in that childlike aspect into work. We're not talking about going into work as a CEO and talking with a baby voice. It doesn't have to be that extreme, but there's also great wisdom for you to gather if you're sort of coming in and out of existences here. And again, asking for help when things go wrong and knowing that they're always there, and then just sort of like, where are you? It's just a matter of working with them systematically all the way through, and just, the pulse of the mother, slow down, time in nature. It's bringing that nature with you. If you can't get out to nature, it's bringing that nature with you. It's bringing that childlike quality with you that you have with you all the time. But sometimes you lock up that child to be a grown-up, and they're asking you to recalibrate, to shift slightly, to bring in just a little bit more of that aspect in all selves. And again, in ways or in situations that you don't necessarily feel is appropriate. That's probably the most appropriate time to do it. There's parts of yourself that you sort of lock away, or you save for later. You almost like, I'm going to put you in a box, and then, we're going to wear you out when it's a great opportunity, or, it's the right time, or, and the universe is asking you to step up and integrate all aspects of self, so you no longer have to do that. Dust every aspect of yourself off and move forward. So we have a couple of Let's do the Sun. Yes, but it's reversed, but that's fine. We can turn it around. Easily done. Okay, you have the Ten of Staves again reversed, but let's do, yeah, and you have the Ace of Pentacles. It's just a matter, these are all really saying the same thing. You know, your time of struggling is completely, in some ways, the way in which you've approached your life. You've struggled through it, or struggled to sort of keep your head above water sometimes. And here it's, you know, there's a muddiness to your reading too. There's so many aspects of self that could be integrated a little bit better for you to have much more of a seamless life. There's times when you're really clear about things. There's times when you're not clear at all about things. There are times when you're grounded. There's times when you're airy. But you have shifted, and the responsibility upon you has become greater. So you've had to shift into this role of adult. And all they're saying is that you've come into this mode and you're absolutely, completely ready to do this, Libra. Just to pull in all aspects of yourself and stop, you know, trying on different personalities for different things and different situations. Come into a sense of self where you're not constantly trying to balance, and pull it all in from a sense of self, from your uniqueness, from your childlike observation, and from your natural joy. And self-preservation from that. If you have to self-preserve yourself, at least do it from a childlike existence. There's nothing for you to prove anymore. And this way of being in the past, of being, you know, trying on different personalities to get through certain things, or approaching responsibility from this set of values and that set of values, I feel as though fully integrated and relax and surrender into your intuition. And again, working with your guides, not just calling on them when you really need them, or just knowing that they're there, but not listening. I feel as though some of you ask for signs and then you go off on your merry way, and you're not listening for the signs. Or if, you know, unfortunately for some of you, you are listening to the signs and it's not what you want to hear, but they are guiding you on the right path. Some of you just go willy-nilly and then wonder how you got there. But you can be guided a lot quicker and a lot easier if you tap back into that inner child and keep that inner child not only safe, but, you know, always pleasurable, always out, always ready to integrate into every situation. That's the way to realign. That's the way to recalibrate. That's the way to bring, to keep the love and the joy in all aspects of your life. And that's the way to work with the universe, where you're not running against it or running away from it, but running with it. And also, you know, for those of you who do get frustrated, are looking for a little bit deeper, this is the way in. This is your third eye being activated. This is the way in for you to clock back into. And that's how I see it, because you clocked out, right? Clock back in to your inner child. Bring back that sense of wonder into every situation that you have, and move forward with that connection. And I promise you, every single door that you want will open easily and effortlessly afterwards. So if this resonated with you, Libra, do let me know in the comments below. It's always a pleasure to read for you. And until we meet again, you take care. Bye-bye.